Welcome to the latest addition to the RENUA Ethics channel. My name is Carl Dieter, and today we're going to talk about anger. In both politics and life, anger can be an easy place to retreat to if you're dealing with something that you aren't comfortable with, or if you're seeking to win an argument or simply vent frustrations. In this video, as your ethics officer, I want to address some of the issues around anger, and also to say a special thanks to Jackie Gilburn. This was her idea that we would cover the topic, and also the contents were provided by Jackie. So regarding anger, whatever the dynamic, anger is one of the most destructive, negative emotional forces, and it's very difficult to control, while at the same time it can be very seductive. This is because anger can be energizing and even exhilarating, but it can also be used, unfortunately, as a means to justify life's brutality as the course of action that you took. It can be a defense for acting or doing certain things. And the popular view does tend to be that anger shouldn't be controlled, that venting anger is good for you, getting it off your chest. But if you think about that and take it too literally, well, then how good is it in trying to raise or teach a young child? How good is anger on the motorway? How good is anger in the political arena? And anger, certainly when it's unresolved, can lead to increases in heart disease, recklessness, communication breakdown, increased stress levels. So it has a very negative side as well. A universal trigger for anger quite often is the sense of being endangered. And when values or viewpoints differ, self-worth can be threatened. And this is often a signal for moving forward in whatever the interaction, but the signal can be misinterpreted, and contempt instead of empathy can follow. So a key component for diffusing this contempt is a willingness to try to understand the process and to decommission the angry mindset. I speak about this as a person who, personally, I do suffer with getting angry at things quite often. It's one of the things in life I struggle with, and that's why when Jackie mentioned it, I figured I'd make a video for everybody else too. So getting back to it, people, when they're wrong, rarely ever believe that they are. But instead of condemning them, you should put yourself in their shoes. There is an expression there, but for the grace of God I go. And certainly, according to the physicist Stephen Hawking, human aggression threatens to destroy us all. So put those two together. First is, what if I was that person? And second is to realize that aggression is actually a threat to all of humanity. Certainly, if it becomes too widespread, too big, it can actually be quite a powerful force for destruction. So if you want to get rid of anger, and I'm not saying it works and everyone has their own path to travel, here's a few simple steps. 1, awareness. Have a clear intention to do the right thing. Just say to yourself, I'm going to do my best. 2, be prepared. If you go into a situation and you have a good idea of what you're going to say, and you have at least some little idea of the other person's interests or motives, then you're much better prepared. So being prepared actually helps not be angry. There's a lot of wisdom out there from various organized religions and psychologists. In Buddhism, they have this idea of lengthening the pause, of taking control, that change is very effective if you catch yourself at the angry moment and try to stop it there. Certainly in the Tao, you hear a lot about, to act, try to do nothing. You see the idea in Islam, where they say that whoever curbs their anger while being able to act, Allah will fill their heart with certainty and faith. And also that anger is effectively like a fire that can destroy you. You see it in Christianity. The story of Cain and Abel is one of the early stories of anger and rage getting out of control. And in Ecclesiastes it says, don't hasten in your spirit to be angry, for anger rests in the bosom of fools. Now you don't have to believe in any of these religions or any religion at all to at least accept that on some level they were making a valid point. There is still wisdom in texts whether you believe that particular faith or not. Step 4 is to apologize unconditionally, as quick as you can. There's something a bit cathartic about just saying, look, I was wrong, I'm sorry. The 5th step is to empathize. Again, saying, what if I was in their shoes? There's always going to be someone better off than you, but equally there's someone who's worse off than you. And even if people are irritating or bigoted or racist, unreasoning, indignant, getting angry with them isn't actually going to change that or fix it. And believe it or not, you can actually short circuit your anger if you try to attempt to understand their viewpoint. That doesn't mean you agree with it. You're looking to find an explanation, not necessarily to endorse them. Number 6 is to look for a resolution. This can often determine the course of the conflict. Number 7 is a good old-fashioned one of take a few deep breaths. I do this regularly, and I can tell you it does work. Step 8, try to distract yourself. If you're frustrated over something and you just can't get it out of your head, sometimes doing something that you like can help, just put you back on an even keel. Another step then, number 9, is to understand that, look, quite often anger is something that is a primitive response. It's hardwired into us, and you can deconstruct it. So when you feel it happening, be aware of it, and try and get ahead of it, or to realize, look, this is what's happening. I know it's not as real as I may think it is, and just try to stay calm. And then the final step, the 10th step, is, look, if you've got an anger problem, get some help. There's loads of people out there that can talk to you, and that doesn't mean gonna see a professional. Even you can talk to your friends, or you can watch videos on the web like this one. So that's some thoughts on anger, and I hope that you find it useful if you're a person who does get angry, as for instance I would be. And I'll finish off with the story of two wolves. The story of two wolves is that once upon a time there was a young American Indian, and his name was Two Wolves. And they called him that because he had two very distinctive sides to his personality. One was mean and aggressive, and the other was kind and very open-hearted. And this conflict just raged within him on two sides. And an Indian one day then asked the chief, Chief, with two wolves, which side will win? And the chief responded, the one that he feeds. I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks again. Check in soon. Bye-bye.